Hi everyone! Today we're going to make wet on wet technique koi fish with bedazzlement. Let's make art! Take a look at these beautiful paintings of koi fish. You can see them on watercolor, in oil paints, very popular with artists. Take a look at this photograph of the patterns and colors in koi. This is going to be fun. Let's create the composition for our koi fish. I'm going to draw two, but you can draw one right in the center if you like. Just follow the directions on one of the koi and you'll be just fine. We're going to start with the spine, drawing one here and another one over here. Let's draw a curve. When you draw curved lines, they show movement. Then we're going to create the head. That's going to be kind of a half oval or a deep rounded U, like this, that's more narrow to the front than the back. Kind of like a rounded arrow. Doesn't that look like an arrow? And the same thing down here. Next, we're going to draw the fish, but we need some guide dots to help us, because if you make it too narrow, your koi fish is going to look like an eel, and that's not what we want. You can place a finger on either side of the spine and draw your guide dots right next to your fingers. In the center of your spine, you're going to use two fingers this time. Two fingers on this side with your guide dot. Two fingers on this side with your guide dot. It's going to be a little close to the edge, but it'll be just fine. Then we're just going to connect the dots using a curved line. So drawing carefully, go out, down, and toward the tail. And the same thing right here. Out, guide dot, and right down there. Let's do the same thing on our bottom koi. A finger on either side with the guide dots. Two fingers in the center of the spine on this side. Two fingers on this side. And let's connect the dots. Now we can have some fun. The tail of the koi are very, very wide and fan-like and very fun to make. So you can be as creative as you want to with that. So you're going to come out and make your waves. Wavy lines like this, and have some fun with it. Let them go way out. You can exaggerate it a little bit if you want to make your koi look beautiful. The eye is going to be oval on either side, right next to where your U stopped when you were making the head. So there's 1 and 2, 3, and 4. If you're only making one, that's just fine. Let's make our top fin right here. And you can also make that as wide and wavy and lovely as possible. And we're going to make this one on this side. It's kind of fun to make two koi, because then you can make them different colors. One little detail. I like to call this their mustache. And of course we need front fins. Those would be a little bit on the oval side. And this one's going to go off the page because I don't have room, and that's fine. There. Try to make them as much on the same equal side as possible. There. We have our two koi. It's time to Sharpie. Remember, we're going to be doing watercolor and we need a permanent marker so we can see the lines. You can also do this after you paint, but I like to do it before. Now it's time to watercolor. The cool thing about koi is that the colors on their backs look like they're mixed in together. So watercolor is the perfect type of paint to use. So you need to get yourself a cup of water and your watercolors. It's always good to have a paper towel close by in case you need it. We're going to do the wet on wet technique by painting the koi fish first and then dropping color in. Don't do too much at a time or the paper will dry. Make sure you have a nice sheen on your paper. Go around your eyes. If you don't want to do your fin yet, you don't have to. You can go around that too. You might want to paint just half your fish. And now it's time to drop in the paint. I'm going to start with orange, making sure I get lots of color in my brush. Never do this with your paintbrush on watercolor. It will go on just as easily if you gently roll and rub your paintbrush in there. And drop the color onto your water and watch it spread. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Let's get some more. Dabbing it on and letting the water take it where it wants to go. The paint won't go as far as the water does, so you can see it stops right here because that's where I stops the water. Let's add some other colors. How about some black? Gently rolling my paintbrush in the paint without gouging the paint out. And I'm just going to add some little black dabs and see where they go. Oh, I like that very much. You can make your koi any colors you want. From the examples you saw, you can use red and blue, you can use purple, you can use whatever color. And of course your koi could be up to your imagination. Let's watch this faster. If you need to pause, pause now. Remember to paint your fish with water first before you drop in the color. Make sure that your koi are completely dry before you start this. If you leave it wet, the colors will bleed into the background, which is the water that we're going to be making. I let this dry for quite a while, so you can tell by putting your finger on it and feeling if it's still damp or not. And if it is dry, then it's fine. If you're in a hurry, use a hairdryer on it, and that's always a wonderful tool for an artist to use. All right, we're going to be creating lines of movement in our water so that it looks like the koi fish are swimming. We're going to be doing that by not painting certain parts of the picture, and I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. The cool thing about the 16 color watercolor set is that there are 3 blues in it. There's turquoise, regular blue, and there is a beautiful indigo blue, which is blue and violet mixed up. You can also use other cool colors such as violet, and there are some greens in here. This is regular green, this is blue green. You can tell the difference because the basic 8 colors are right here. The 6 colors of the rainbow plus black and brown. Over here are the intermediates, which means that any of these 2 colors are mixed together. Red and orange mixed together is red-orange, and so on and so on. This is yellow-green. So choosing my colors carefully, I'm going to be starting with a lovely bright blue. And I'm just going to be creating beautiful lines of movement around my koi so that it looks like it is moving in the water. Also creating lines around this koi. I'm going to be slowly filling in the empty spaces to create a look of more and more depth of water. You can see that the paint will show lighter if you don't put more color in. If it's not flowing well, it means there isn't enough water in your brush, so make sure that you put more water in your brush. I'm going to be changing colors now, so I'm cleaning up my brush. And I think I'm going to add some beautiful indigo here to create some depth. Oh, that's pretty. I don't mind if they run into each other. It's fine with me. I'm more interested in the lines of movement, making it look like these fish are moving in the water. Just using my paintbrush, I'm going to add a little bit of water in here to let the colors flow a little bit more. This is just a clean brush with just a little bit of water in it, going over the paint that I've already done, letting it move outward into space, showing movement. This is just water. There is no paint on my brush, only the paint that gets into it from the paper. I'm going very carefully around my subject. If you do get some paint on your fish, it's going to be just fine. It'll just look like he's underwater instead of on the water. It's hard to make a mistake in art, and if you do, you can always make it great. All I'm doing is adding water, letting things flow across the paper. Beautiful lines of movement. A little bit more over here. And I can go right over that Sharpie. And now I'm moving it into closer to the koi. With the lightest. Oh, it's starting to dry right now. Starting to look very beautiful. You can see I went right over the mustache and it looks just fine. Right off to the edge of the paper. You can see that the places that I left white are looking very light now, but it still shows movement in the water. And that is a lovely effect. The nice thing about having your fish like this is that your picture can be horizontal or it can be vertical. It can be this way or that way. You can put it around and decide which one you like the best. And your koi fish, I hope, looks very different than mine. Okay, it's time to bedazzle. Some of you may not have cool things to bedazzle with, but bedazzling means putting extra cool decorations on it. And I have an ultra thin Sharpie for fun. And I have some gel pens. I have a gold pen and a white one. They're called Uniball Signo, and I have white and gold. They're my favorites. Now this is completely up to you and your imagination. I'm going to turn on the music and create. And here we have our bedazzled koi fish wet on wet watercolor technique. I hope you had as much fun with this project as I did. See you next time.